Yeah.
Good evening. It's Sunday, September 14th, 2025, and we're on Studio 6A tonight. And it's my pleasure, and it's my distinct honor to be speaking with the humble hero of World War II, Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
I heard your great-granddaughter came to visit today.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Amber.
Amber, yeah. That's a familiar name. Amber. How's she doing?
Well, she still got that kid to worry about.
Yeah, her friend had surgery, right?
Yeah.
She's taking care of him. She's a true good person with a big heart. Not like some of our relatives. They don't give a shit. These relatives of ours are garbage. And then I heard she took you to church.
Huh?
I heard she took you to church. You went to church, right?
Yeah.
How was church?
Church is good, yeah.
Good. Amber bring her Bible?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How's that Bible look, Mr. Jeff?
Pretty well worn out.
Worn out, underlined, and that's the way a Bible should be. By the way, Amber's a beautiful 20-year-old girl, 20-something girl, and she's a full-time missionary and an avid surfer. She travels the world, the Bible in the left hand and a surfboard in the right. She doesn't miss. She's been in every continent that has different waves. Keep in mind, Australia's winters are complete opposite of ours. She surfed all over the place, and she had great luck last year. She was surfing in Malibu for 3 months, and what happened as soon as she went home to Florida? She lives on the ocean, by the way. She could roll out in the sand and surf anytime, but I imagine if you're an avid surfer, you're looking for another challenge, a different wave, a more unique wave, a bigger wave. Well, anyways, she surfed in Malibu for 3 months, and then right after that, when she got home to Florida, a week after that, the fires took place.
Yeah.
So she got out in the nick of time.
Yeah.
Wow. She got out in the nick of time. That's amazing. So what else did you and Amber do today?
Amber do today?
What else did you got to do together?
Well, she slept for a while.
She likes to get those disease in, eh?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Huh?
Anything else? Did you guys have a nice dinner?
Oh, yeah, we had, what did we have? Geez, I can't think of it now.
It was a good dinner, though.
Yeah.
Would you like a coffee, Mr. Jeckovich?
No, thanks.
Would you like an iced tea?
No.
How about a crumpet?
A what?
A crumpet.
A trumpet.
A crumpet like you had in England. You had crumpets.
No.
So you're in good shape.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich said a couple weeks ago that he blinked his eyes at 20 and now he's 100, and I firmly believe him.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it went by that fast, Mr. Jeckovich?
Huh?
Does it feel like it went by that fast?
That's yet, but I don't know what happened.
Where the hell did 80 years go?
Huh?
Where the hell did 80 years ago? 80 years went by like that, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Mr. Jeckovich wrote the book. It's titled Their Mother's Sons. It's a big, beautiful book. How many pages?
849.
849 pages. I know you wouldn't use Google, and I know you wouldn't use a laptop. How did you produce this big...
Yellow pages.
Yellow legal pads, yeah. What did it take you, a couple years to write?
6 months.
Wow. I hope you put out another book, because I already went through this book once. We have 600 YouTube videos where I started from page 1 and I took it to 849. And now we're the second time around. And I'm on chapter 11, and I'm on page 279. I must get a dozen texts a day. How much is the book and where can I buy it?
It's not for sale.
No, that's right. The book is not for sale and never will be for sale. It's certainly not about money. Mr. Jeckovich is not looking for money from anybody. He's in great in that shape. The book was written to give the younger generation a better life, a more wholesome life, and tell his story from age 11 years old when he started caring for his mother to her demise at 89. And that time there, where did you live?
Oh,
When you were caring for your mother? Where did you live? What was your address?
3063, or is that your?
3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York. Yeah, Mr. Jeckovich is, and I believe this wholeheartedly, that he blinked his eyes at 20 and now he's 100. So listen, boys and girls, it's a short dance around the sun. It'll go by quickly. So make each day productive and enjoyable. Please, because no one beats Father Time. No one has ever beat Father Time. No matter how rich or no matter how smart.
Yeah.
It's Father Time will win always, right?
Yeah.
Father Time. And keep in mind, life is so strange. Life is strange. You arrive here with nothing, and then you're going to spend your whole life chasing everything. I want a new car. I want a new house. I want a boat. I want an expensive watch. I want to remodel my bathroom. I want a pool. And all your living life, you're chasing something. But guess what? You still leave with absolutely nothing. You never seen a hearse pulling a U-Haul trailer, have you?
Yeah.
So make sure your soul gains more than your hands. So make sure your soul gains more than your hands. Mr. Jeckovich was drafted into World War II, and as a teenage boy, they respectively called him the diaper division because of his young age. He was drafted. They sent him right to the front lines, Battle of Bulge, Bastogne, and later liberated the concentration camps. And during that time, he was a great fighter because he was street smart. Your mother made you tough.
Yeah.
If you weren't tough going to the front line, how'd you make out?
I probably would make out.
How would some soldier make out during World War II if they're fighting on the front lines and they weren't tough?
They would probably get killed.
Like Donald Lake.
Yeah.
He was your best friend in the foxhole.
Yeah.
Nice guy, I'm told. He wasn't tough.
Yeah.
Dirty bomb blew off his head. Only thing hanging was his glasses from the ears. And that shrapnel from that bomb is still in Mr. Jekovich's legs. From that same bomb. It hasn't left. If he attempted to go on an airplane, all the alarms would go off. So how do you get on the airplane when all the metal detectors are going off?
What?
What do you show the airport when the metal detector goes off because of your shrapnel in your body?
I give a slip.
You have a slip. Yeah. During World War II, this teenage boy was shot in the shoulder by a sniper, beat up, stabbed, bombed, trench foot,
Also hip.
lost a hip, frostbite, and the list is long. And the list is long. He was awarded the Bronze Star Medal, the Purple Heart, the Army Good Conduct Medal, the Army Campaign Medal, European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, and 3 Bronze Service Stars. He was awarded the World War II Victory Medal, the Army of Occupation Medal with Germany clasp, Combat Infantry Badge, Sharpshooter Badge with carbine, pistol, and also machine gun bars, Marksman Badge with rifle barrel, Honorable Service Lapel Button, World War II. So those are the medals this young boy received. A lot. A lot. So when he went in, he was referred to the diaper division, and then he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, stuck in Bastogne, surrounded by thousands and thousands of Nazi infantry fighters, lots of tanks, Nazi tanks, and the weather was horrible for 4 long days and nights. They couldn't get air support, they couldn't get paratroopers. They needed to lift 50,000 American paratroopers to jump down, and they couldn't get ammunition, food, nothing. So what they tell you to do with Bastogne?
Hold it.
Hold it, hold it, hold it under any cost. 4 days and nights later, they held it. 97% casualty. The snow was red, body parts everywhere. But they did hold it. So now they're no longer green soldiers. They're no longer referred to as the diaper division. Now they're called the Bloody Bastards of Bastogne. The Bloody Bastards of Bastogne.
And the Bulge Busters.
And the Bulge Busters. Yeah. And the Bulge Busters. So it was a quite feat for these teenage boys doing this.
18 minutes.
And it's just really amazing. And then from there, what happened next? They liberated the concentration camps. In the ghettos and in the camps, in the forest, against all odds, some Jews and others were somehow able to resist the Nazis. It took many years for some Holocaust survivors to feel that it was all right for them to speak. They wanted to put the horror behind them. Some felt a deep sense of guilt because they survived, but other members of their family did not. Others wanted to speak out, but no one seemed ready to hear such horrors, and believe me, they were horrors. By now there is a sense of urgency. They are living testimony. They speak for themselves, but they only speak for the dead, their parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, children they knew and cared for and tried to help save. Friends who sustained them, leaders whom they admired, strangers who offered them help when most betrayed them. The survivors remind us of the countless heroic acts of the resistance. That war was a horrible place. The concentrations were unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Yeah. We should never forget that. It was hell on earth. They came to live in the ghetto October 40th, most of them. These sights of their father and grandmother dying of starvation, terrible hygiene conditions, and a picture that haunts them still today if they're living. Their grandmothers were lying on a dirty bed because she was unable already to move without food, and with her lived a young Jewish family with 3 children. Their mother was soon caught smuggling food into the ghetto, and she was put in jail. And the father was going out with the eldest son, at that time was 6 years old, to find some work to earn some money. They usually came home empty-handed because he was a barber, and very few people needed his services in the ghetto. They saw little children turning into little monsters because when a person is subjected to starvation, there are visible changes in their body. People get swollen, and later on they become distorted. Yeah, distorted. They lay next to the elderly, who was also in a state of decay. I remember they said in Yiddish, "Look in what state I am." And I stood there, a young girl. Tears were running down my cheeks. I could not help them. Barbed wire fences or brick walls blocked off ghetto entrances, which were guarded by the local Polish and Jewish police. Some ghettos were tightly sealed. No one was allowed in or out. The Warsaw ghetto was walled in.
14 minutes.
In ghettos, children and old people usually stayed home, and the able-bodied teens and adults went to work. Children often smuggled in food from the outside. The world outside the ghetto, others smuggled in weapons. In 1942, then, the Nazis began to deport the Jews from some ghettos, telling them they were going to be resettled. No, they weren't being resettled. They were going to be murdered. In the ghetto, most of the resistance was armed resistance. Weapons were scarce everywhere, and it was especially difficult to get residents out of the ghetto. Terrible conditions, including hard labor that the Nazis forced the Jews to perform in the factories or labor camps, killed tens of thousands of people and weakened the survivors. Residents lived on starvation rations in cramped quarters. It was difficult to organize resistance under these conditions, but despite the risk, people in the ghetto formed underground movements or attempted to revolt or escape. Most of the organized resistance in the ghetto grew out of youth organizations that people in their teens and 20s had joined before the war. Its essential aim was to encourage immigration to Palestine to start a Jewish homeland there. A Polish Catholic who had befriended Jewish youths in Warsaw before the war, a member of the Polish resistance, she served as a courier for the Jewish underground in Warsaw ghetto, illegally delivering news from the outside. In the late 1940s, and others brought the shocking news. The Nazis had slaughtered thousands of Jews from the ghetto, the capital of Lithuania. The mass shooting took place near Vilna. The news was first ever mass shooting of the Jews by killing of the Jews by the Nazis. It dramatically changed the mission of the underground youth movements in Warsaw. Jewish men are forced to dig their own graves before being executed. It goes on and on and on. We should never forget Mr. Jeckovich was one of the guys, and thousands of other American soldiers that busted down the gates. And at the concentration camps, what did they tell you not to do?
Don't feed them.
Don't feed them. How come?
Their systems all screwed up.
Yeah. What you're seeing was horrific. You can't imagine. We're not going to talk about it. But most of the big strapping men, 190, 220, are down to 60, 70, 80, 90 pounds. Not enough strength to get up. The conditions were total filth. Disease everywhere. But the people living in the towns didn't believe it. They didn't think that took place. So what the American soldiers did is they marched all the people in town to see what this was all about, and they couldn't believe it. There were some ladies that worked in the office of the concentration camps. They knew what was going on. They did nothing about it. As the boys are 60, 70, 80, 90 pounds in those camps, these ladies that worked in the offices were heavy set. Heavy set. They're eating well. And so the American soldiers nicknamed them the fat fucks. The fat fucks. And they took them out of the office and they showed them what the hell was going on in these concentrations. They knew, but they didn't admit it, but they took them firsthand. And then they made them help dispose of the dead. Let's hope we never see that again. Let's hope. So we're to continue reading. By mid-morning, the entire Panther Division, more than 30 tanks at the different vantage points, were coming down the road straight at us. Leading enemy formations were 1,000 yards away. Everyone fired what they had when they closed at 800 yards. The tanks on the ridge halted and shelled the town. Other tanks were swinging around the right flank, but on the left, the enemy armor was already within 200 yards of our position. 200 yards is too close, right?
Yeah.
Little knots of men on the floor were coming up behind the German tanks. A platoon of tank destroyers added firepower with its guns, but they were no match for the superior Tigers. The Tigers are some powerful tanks.
Yeah.
Guns did do nothing, right?
No.
9 Mark 4s and Mark 5s were hit straight away. 3 ended in flames. There were too many of them and too few of us. 3 Shermans. Shermans are your tanks.
Yeah.
They named after Sherman, General Sherman,
Yeah.
from the Civil War. 3 Shermans would get into firing position, and the Tigers and the Panzers would pick them off with their superior firepower. A major came running by shouting, "Pull back, pull back." Yeah, it's not good. We hastily pulled the gun out and hightailed it to the 2 remaining vehicles left in the area. The rest had been scrambled with great urgency to the next village, hoping to escape the onslaught of the Tigers. So Tigers were a hard tank to put down, right?
Yeah.
How did they eventually put the Tiger tanks down?
All right.
How did they eventually blow up the Tiger tanks? How the
Blow
Americans...
torches.
What?
Blow torches.
Blow torches, yeah. As we reached the village, we formed a skirmish line in the front of the remaining artillery battalions. Minutes, please. All types of personnel were used. At this point, it wasn't looking good for the American soldiers, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys are pushing back. You're way outnumbered.
Yeah.
Way outnumbered. All
7.5.
All types of personnel were used. Headquarters people, stragglers, survivors, walking wounded. Anything that moved was thrown into the line. We waited for the Germans to attack from the east, but the 2nd Panzer Division, which had crushed both roadblocks, had no intentions of coming through the small village. About a mile short of the village, they swung north onto the road leaving to Noville, a village 5 miles before Bastogne. Now that's getting too damn close to Bastogne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In the confusion, I lost track of the several ammo bearers from the squad. I do not know what happened to them. Did you ever find what?
No, they deserted.
You think they deserted?
Yeah.
So who the hell gave you your ammo?
Huh?
Who gave you your ammo for your machine gun?
Well, we had people in the squad. We had a big squad.
So you think the ammo bearers you never seen again, did you ever see them after the war?
No.
They just disappeared.
Yeah.
Where would you guess they disappeared to?
Back home.
Yeah. They just took off, right? Oh, wow. In confusion, I lost track of several ammo bearers from the squad. I did not know what happened to them, nor did I see anyone taking a direct hit or go down. I was concerned about the gun crew and keeping it intact, ready to fire as we moved from one position to another. Lape was more of a concern than the rest of the squad. At one moment, I almost reversed roles and made the ammo barrel, whom I designated assistant gunner, the gunner, and dropped Lape back to second gunner. I did not do anything about my concern. Instead, focused all my efforts on making the gun available and looking after the safety of the squad. The tension increased as we saw a steady line of trucks, guns, and men retreating from the villages. The stragglers, their faces black with powder burns and their eyes red from lack of sleep, were dazed and terrified, all uttering the disaster and the onslaught of the tanks and more tanks. The Ardennes battle, by the way, the Ardennes Forest was the last-ditch effort of psychotic Adolf Hitler to kill American boys. The Ardennes Forest was the coldest winter of record, and you must understand the Ardennes Forest is very difficult to navigate through because the trees are so close together. The snow was also 3 feet. But this was last-ditch effort of Hitler to kill more boys. He sent estimated 600,000 Nazi troops and 1,000 or so tanks to kill Americans. So it was a bad situation. The Ardennes battle was a mess, a scene of indescribable and utter chaos. No one German or American private or general knew what was actually happening. So it was just total chaos.
Yeah.
No one knew what the hell was going on. I thought, or I knew, that we were fortunate in a sense to be attached to a experienced unit, rather than face the utter deadly confusion with segments of our division.
4.5.
I would rather face the enemy aided by the 2nd or 3rd Armor, or the 101st, or the 82nd Airborne. What happened to the 101st?
They got slaughtered.
Every one of them gone.
Yeah.
Every one of them gone. It was 2,400 hours in Germany, and the excited citizens were reading and listening to thrilling news of the great offensive. The radios were spewing out of triumphant news of the German tanks and infantry facing the enemy to surrender in droves. Also saying that the Americans realized that the battle was over for them. So the German citizens were listening to the radio and they were cheering because Hitler was making great advances.
Yeah.
How those same German citizens, once the Americans won the war, how did they act towards you?
Also, I could, fearful.
They were acting fine after the war ended? There was also much panic in and behind the Allied lines in all the towns and cities, not only in Luxembourg and Belgium, but in France and Holland. They all remember the Blitzkrieg in 1940, yeah. Our ammunition was getting low, and I scrounged around the town to try to locate an ordnance depot or somewhere they could be distributing ammo of all kinds. That is providing they had any on hand. So you're just about out of ammo, right?
Yeah.
There was so much confusion and constant hurry about that I did not have much luck in finding anything resembling an ordnance depot. What usually was the case in the past weeks was the ammo and the weapons were passed out to troops as they went by. Also, in some instances, case of hand grenades. Did you have many hand grenades?
Yeah.
And M1 ammunition were put alongside the road in separate piles so that the men could pick them up the things they needed as they went by. There was nothing there then, right?
Yeah.
You had no ammo.
Yeah.
At this point, events were so hectic and out of control for any semblance or orderliness. It was just a matter of luck in finding any. I asked one of the MPs on the traffic duty if he knew of any place where they have any ammo. He was not much help. He was too preoccupied with just keeping traffic moving. I finally came up upon a supply building and inquired if they had any ammo. The sergeant in charge took me into the cellar, and which displayed a huge set of cache of arms and ammunition. I asked him if the Germans knew of this spot. He smiled and he said, "Hope not." I struggled with a case of .30 caliber for the gun and a box of .39 caliber for the M1s and carbines. I waited outside to see if I could catch a ride back to my position because there was too much to carry, right?
Yeah.
You had to get a lift. After I waited for around several minutes, a 6x6 came by. I hitched a ride on the back of our area. I gave each of the ammo barrels 2 boxes of .30 caliber for the machine gun, and Leip and I each carried a box along with a tripod and a receiver. How much did that tripod weigh?
135.
Wow, that's a heavy duty tripod. This is for the machine gun. The .30 caliber was distributed around and we're all well equipped for the time being. Minutes, please. Boy, that was lucky you found that ammo depot.
14 seconds.
So, wow, you were lucky to find that ammo, right?
Yeah.
Plus, it was freezing cold.
Everybody was scratching for ammo.
Yeah, you found it.
That's it.